Introduction. Microscopy is the study of visualization or photography of small objects that we cannot see with the naked eye. The instrument which is used for this purpose is called microscope. Microscopes are specialized optical instruments designed to produce magnified visual or photographic images, including digital images of smaller objects or specimens that are too small to see with our naked eye. Faber coined the term microscope from two Greek words. Micron refers to small and scopion means to look at. Way back in 1668, Leeuwenhoek popularized the microscopes for microbiological studies. In today's market, there are variety of microscopes and some of them are coupled with spectrometer which gives spatial images along with their composition, molecular arrangement, crystallinity and so on. All the microscopy techniques are broadly classified into three categories: optical microscopy, scanning probe microscopy, electron microscopy. Light or optical microscope, fluorescence microscope, confocal microscope and scanning near field optical microscope are some of the examples of optical microscopy technique. Scanning probe microscopy, atomic force microscope, scanning tunneling microscope are some of the examples of atomic force microscopy technique. Scanning electron microscope, field emission scanning electron microscope and transmission electron microscope are some of the examples of electron microscopy techniques. Let us discuss few microscopy techniques that are frequently used for biomass analysis. Optical microscopy. Optical microscopy is based on the principles of absorption, diffraction, refraction and transmission of light waves. Optical microscopes produce images using the differential propagation of light such as bright field, differential interference, contrast, phase contrast, dark field, polarized light and fluorescence. The main components of a conventional light microscopes are light source and system of lenses comprises of an eyepiece and objective. The image is produced when the light crosses through a specimen and enters the system of lenses. With the objectives available today, the size of a micro or nano feature of a specimen can be magnified to several fold. For example, using 10x objective lens, the original size of the feature can be magnified to 10-fold. This picture explains how magnification of a micro object takes place. I suggest you to go through the references to know more about the magnification principle. There are two basic types of optical microscopes: simple microscope and compound microscope. Simple microscope. A simple microscope has a lens or a group of lenses to enlarge an object through angle magnification alone, giving the viewer an erect and enlarged virtual image. Magnifying glass, loupes, eyepieces for telescopes and microscopes are some of the examples of simple microscopes. Compound microscope. A compound light microscope will have two different lenses. The one close to an object is called objective lens and the lens close to eye is called eyepiece or ocular. Both lenses work together to produce the final magnification of an image. Magnification of an image is nothing but the product of the magnification of objective lens and the magnification of eye lens. Digital microscopy. What is digital microscopy? Combination of a optical microscope and a digital camera together with a computer and imaging software is called digital microscope or digital imaging system. This technique comprises of an image formation by optics, image registration by a camera and saving of a image data in a computer file. A digital microscope is a microscope equipped with a digital camera and inbuilt LED light source that enable us to observe a sample on computer monitor. The digital microscopes are partly or completely computer controlled with a various levels of automation. Digital microscope gives ample scope for better analysis of a microscopic image than a conventional microscope. For example, measurement of a object sizes, areas, plotting histograms, quantification of a fluorescent or histological stain, and fast analysis are the added advantages of digital microscopes. There are a variety of digital microscope readily available in the market, and these operates on slightly different principles. Components of a digital CCD imaging system are shown in this picture. A CCD camera is mounted on a light microscope. A camera control unit connected to the camera and communicates with a host computer. In this picture, we can also see various other type of digital detectors. How a digital microscope works. A typical digital microscope consists of optics, a camera designed based on charge coupled device detector or complementary metal oxide semiconductor detector, which is also referred to as CMOS detector, and a computer with appropriate interface software. The CCD and CMOS camera detectors are having small silicon chips, typically centimeter size, and these are divided into millions of tiny picture elements, what are referred to as pixel. Each pixel is associated with multiple transistors. When light from objective optics falls on the detector, the transistors generates appropriate electrons, and these electrons are amplified. The amplified electron signal is then digitized by a small component, what is referred to as analog to digital converter ADC. That means the photons count in each pixel is digitized and displayed on a computer monitor or any other display device. Laser scanning confocal microscopy. This is in short form, this is known as LSCM. Laser scanning confocal microscopy is the most powerful among all the microscopy techniques. This was invented by Marvin Minsky in 1915s, mainly to overcome the drawbacks of wide field fluorescence microscopy. The name confocal microscopy is derived from the arrangement of the light path. A typical confocal microscope contains same optical components as fluorescence microscope but slightly different. A confocal microscope may have one or more laser light source instead of a continuous visible light source depending upon our requirement. Unlike wide field fluorescence microscopy, the excitation light bandwidth is determined by the source, not the excitation filter. The bandwidth of the laser pulse is about 2 to 3 nanometer, which is 10-fold smaller than a continuous light source. Another major difference between fluorescence microscope and LSCM is a pinhole. What is a pinhole? It is a device that removes unwanted or out of focus fluorescence light. There are two pinholes, one at excitation site for filtering the reflected or scattered light. A second pinhole is kept just before the PMT detector to block the out of focus fluorescence light as well as the scattered light, which mainly originated from the interaction of excitation light with the sample, glass cover slips, air, and so on. Since the unwanted light is cut off by the pinhole, relatively we can obtain a better microscopic image of the specimens. A comparison between conventional epifluorescence and confocal microscope in terms of their design is shown in this picture. As you can see from the two images, the image generated by a epifluorescence microscope comes from several planes, whereas the image generated by a confocal fluorescence microscope mainly comes from only one plane. Therefore, the quality enhanced to several fold, and the confocal fluorescence image is generally more contrast than the conventional epifluorescence image. The requirement of the sample or specimen. The sample or specimen must be fluorescent in order to obtain laser scanning microscopic image. If the samples are not fluorescent, then before the analysis, we can stain the sample with appropriate fluorescent dyes. Scanning electron microscopy. In short form, this is known as SEM. As the name suggests, SEM is one type of electron microscopy techniques and addresses the resolution problem associated with the light or optical microscopy techniques. Unlike light microscopy, in electron microscopy, a beam of electrons is used as a source to probe the surface morphology of specimens or samples. Principle: when a beam of electrons, what is referred to as primary electrons, interacts with matter on a surface, backscattered electrons, secondary electrons, X-rays and Auger electrons are produced due to the interaction of primary electrons and the surface molecules. In the SEM analysis, microscopic image is constructed based on the contrast of either backscattered electrons or secondary electrons. Unlike the light microscope and scanning probe microscope, in SEM there can be more than one detector depending upon the need and necessity of our analysis. For example, one for the detection of backscattered electrons and another one for detecting the secondary electrons. In addition, in modern scanning electron microscope, we can find another detector which is generally a X-ray detector to get insight into the composition of material under investigation. Nowadays, most of the scanning electron microscopes are having either backscattered electron detector or secondary electron detector along with the energy dispersive X-ray detector. A typical SEM will have electron source or electron gun, electromagnetic lens, backscattered electron detector or secondary electron detector, X-ray detector. Resolution of a scanning electron microscope depends upon primary electron beam diameter. With a conventional heated filament electron gun, we can obtain an image resolution up to 10 nanometer, whereas field emission scanning electron microscope gives an image resolution up to 1 nanometer. According to the de Broglie relation, wavelength of electron decreases with increasing the acceleration potential. Most of the scanning electron microscope will have an operating electron source at 30 kilovolts. Overall, a SEM resolution is far better than any optical microscope, but lower than a transmission electron microscope. One of the major advantages of SEM is that we can image very thick samples, which is not possible with any other microscopy techniques, especially with TEM. Applications of optical and electron microscopy techniques. As I mentioned in the early part of my discussion, the major purpose of any microscopy technique is to image small objects on a surface that we cannot see with our naked eye. The sample preparation differs from one microscopy technique to another microscopy technique. Let me discuss few specific applications of microscopy techniques in characterizing biomass samples. Light microscopes can be used to study swelling changes of native fibers as well as morphological changes of refined cellulose fibers which are subjected to physical, chemical and biological pretreatments of wheat straw and corn stover. These are optical images of microfibers taken before and after pretreatment of cellulose fibers. By looking at these images, we conclude that the fibers are swelling after pre-treatment process. Confocal laser scanning microscope can be used as a tool to visualize bacterial and fungal degradation of lignocellulosic substrates. In a recent study using the confocal microscope images, it was proved that fungal community native of wheat straw acting on insoluble fibers and accelerates the degradation of lignocellulosic biomass. Green fluorescence in the image indicates the anaerobic fungi presence. Further, differential staining patterns on the fungal cell wall suggest the presence of different fungal species. Since SEM has better resolution, we can study morphology and composition of biomass. In a recent study, natural cellulose nanofibers of lignocellulosic feedstocks that are extracted from banana, pineapple and jute have been characterized and evaluated by scanning electron microscopy technique. In a similar study, morphology of natural cellulose fibers obtained from corn stalks have been characterized by scanning electron microscope. Untreated nanofibers on the left hand side and alkali treated nanofibers on the right hand side you can see in this image. Elemental composition of wheat straw nodes by energy dispersive X-ray scanning electron microscopy showed different concentration of silicon. It was found that the outer surface of the wheat straw had higher silicon content than the inner surface. The same study also revealed that the higher carbon content in the node outer surface, which is an indication of high quality of wax. Summary. Dear students, we have discussed basic principles of optical and digital microscopy, scanning electron microscopy, laser scanning confocal microscopy and rheology. Overall, we can obtain microscopic images of biomass samples using optical and electron microscopy techniques.